YouTube? Just Fett coming back at y'all with another video, bro. And as y'all can tell by the title, bro, I'm telling y'all my life story, everything that I've gone through, everything that I've been through, what's happened out through my life. And it was pretty tough. I've had a pretty tough life going up to now. But anyways, if y'all new, make sure y'all like the video, comment down below your opinions about my YouTube channel. Make sure y'all press the subscribe button, because I make some pretty nice content. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. I make some pretty nice content. And then make sure you turn the post notifications on so that you get notified every time that I make a post. Y'all make sure you do those 4 steps. And then, matter of fact, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you to press the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, and I'll wait for you to hit that bell, the notification bell. Alright, now that you've done that, let's get on with the video. So about October 7th, 2004, me, Jesse Fett, I was born under the name Ethan Matthew Anderson. My last name was Anderson because that's my mom's last name, and my dad wanted to name me after him. So going until I was like, basically not really much happened. Like, there's a picture somewhere, I could try and find it. There's a picture of me and my first birthday. I was at McDonald's for my first birthday, and my dad was holding up the keys, and I was trying to grab them, but not really much happened until March 9th, 2008. I was still 3 years old. I was turning 4 in like 6-7 months. My sister was 6 years old at the time, and her birthday was literally 8 days away. My mom was supposed to go out with my dad that night. She was pregnant with my little sister, and she was sick, so she couldn't go. So my dad went to the bar with his friends. I wouldn't tell you their name, just like for reasons, but he went with 3 of his friends. 2 were I think engaged at the time, and there was just another one that was going along with them, and they just went to a bar. The bartender that worked there was good friends with my dad, and she told this story to my grandpa, which my grandpa told it to him, me. And so the bartender, she just recently passed away too. She passed away like a year or 2 ago. But she gave him a big giant hug when he was leaving the bar that night. My dad, the 2 people that were engaged, invited him. They were gonna give him a ride home, and he didn't go with them. He didn't want to ruin their night, so he went with his other friend. And I've heard so many different versions. There were so many different ways that it happened, but when they were passing down by the AMC theaters by that hotel, they crashed, and my dad got sent through the windshield. A fun fact is that my 6th grade teacher's older brother was behind them when that accident happened. He seen my dad crash, and so my dad was he was launched from the windshield, and he died on impact. And there was a news article about it, but yeah, so his name was Jesse Fett too. And just know, my name was still Ethan Matthew Anderson, but when my dad passed away, my grandpa had my name changed to Jesse Leroy Fett Jr. And Jesse Jr., that's why people call me JJ, because Jesse Jr., that's my nickname. So they had my name changed to Jesse Leroy Fett Jr., named after my dad. It was pretty, literally that's the only memory I have, was the night that the police officers came there. I remember this. I'm telling you right now, I remember this. This is the only memory I have from when I was 3, from 1 to 5 years old, was when I was 3 years old, the night when the cops came, and my mom was crying, and my older sister, Lexi, she's 17 now, she was crying, and I had no idea what was going on. And that's the only memory I have. I don't remember going to the funeral in a limo. I don't remember none of that. And there's a story that my grandpa told me where my grandpa, we went to go visit my dad's grave, and this is when I was still 3 years old. My grandpa asked if I knew where we were at, and I said that we were in heaven. And then my mom was like, no, and then she explained to me what happened. And when I realized that my dad had passed away and that he was buried in the ground, I ran to my grandma crying, we need to get the shovel so we could dig him up. And so I don't remember that. My grandpa just told me about that, so I just wanted to share that with y'all too. But so we were still living in the same house in Carter Lake, and my mom met a guy. It was her boyfriend, and this is my grandma told me about the reason why it happened. And so my grandma came to visit, and she seen my mom's boyfriend with a bunch of beers on the table, and my sister, who was just born, and this is when I was 4 years old. I just turned 4 years old, October 7th, 2008. And the reason I know I was 4 years old when this happened is because Maggie was born, and she was born on October 21st, 2008. I'm pretty sure. Alright, shut your door. Shut your door. Shut your door. Okay. So anyways, that was my sister. She wanted to talk to my older sister, but this was after my baby sister was born, just a little bit after, and and my grandma walks in, and she sees, oh, that shit stinks. I just farted. Y'all heard that too. Anyways, my grandma walks in, and she sees my mom's boyfriend with a bunch of cans of beers on the table, and she got really mad. So then my grandma and my mom stepped outside, and they fought. And actually, I remember this too. I remember looking out the window and seeing them arguing with each other and fighting. And my grandma pushed my mom or something, started pulling her hair. And so that was when things started going downhill, because my grandpa and grandma were paying rent for us to live there. And that was crazy too, because they were paying rent for us. So then we had to move to Council Bluffs. We moved into this house, and it was crazy. I got to have my dad's PS3, and I used to play Skate 3 all the time, bro. I wish I could re-download it on my Xbox and play Skate 3 again, because I love that game so much, because I grew up playing it, and it's one of the most fun games to me I've ever played, besides 2K, which I've been playing a lot recently, for the last 3-4 years. But so then I was still going to school in Carter Lake, even though I was living in Council Bluffs. They had to take me by bus. And then my mom was still dating the same guy, and I got into a little argument with my mom or something. And this is another memory I have too. And we moved into the house in Council Bluffs when I was 5, and so I was 5 years old when this happened. And so my mom's boyfriend took me upstairs and beat me with a metal belt, and he left a big bruise from my knee to my hip, because he didn't spank me on the actual butt. There was bruises on my back, on my hip, and my grandparents didn't know about this until a week after it happened, when the bruising started getting really bad, when they gave me a bath and they seen it, and they had to take pictures, and they called the cops. So then they had to take me and my older sister at the time to a children's home. And later that night, because my mom and her boyfriend got arrested, so later that night, my grandma Carla, my other grandma, she came and picked us up, and we went back to her house, and we had to live at her house for a little bit. And so we were still taking the bus to the Carter Lake school, and my mom was on the phone with the principal, and she's like, well, why am I getting in trouble for this? Gary is my grandpa, Gary beats him too. So they got mad at that, and someone called saying that, someone called my grandpa saying that me and my sister were going to be taken in a cop car away, and my grandpa got there in time. But my grandpa, he didn't actually, beat me. My mom's ex-boyfriend actually, beat me. But my grandpa, he would just do little, spankings with his hand, with my pants on. So it wasn't nothing harm. It was just trying to teach me a lesson on not to do bad things. And so we got taken away in a cop car, and my grandpa was there. And we got taken back to the same home later that night. My grandma picked us up again, and we were living with my other grandma, for about 9 months to 10 months. And then that's when my mom met another guy, and this guy's name was Trey. Now I'm going to say this dude's name because I hate him. I absolutely hate him. And so she met this guy named Trey, and me and my sister and my baby sister were back with my mom in her house in Council Bluffs. And they went on to date for actually 5 years. And at first, when they were dating, I was getting along with this dude, really good. We were getting along. He wasn't living with us or anything. They weren't taking nothing too serious until first grade. I remember too, we moved on the 28th day of first grade to Omaha, from Council Bluffs to Omaha. So I left Carter Lake, and then we moved into Omaha, into some apartments in Omaha. And I was going to this school called Swanson, and it was an elementary school. I went there from 1st to 2nd grade. And then like during this time, me and Trey were getting along, and I went on my first ever vacation, like not non-family related, like just first ever vacation when we moved into this house here. We moved in this house when I was in 3rd grade, and I started going to Rockbrook down here from 3rd to 4th, and 4th grade is when me and Trey stopped getting along, and this was close to the time when he moved out, was in 4th grade. So anyways, 3rd grade, I went on my first vacation. We went to Dallas, Texas. It was the funnest time I ever had. I want to go back to Dallas again sometime. We went to the Six Flags water park with all the water slides. Me and Trey, we went to the Dallas Cowboys football stadium. We got to tour the whole Dallas Cowboys football stadium. Literally the field, the seats, literally everything, the top floor, everything. The broadcaster's room, it was so cool, and we got a picture. And I think my mom still has that picture somewhere, which I'll find it and I'll show it. But yeah, we went there, and it was probably one of the most funnest like vacations I ever went on, because we went to Texas 2 times, and the first time we went to Texas was Dallas, and we drove there. The second time we went on a plane, and this was my first time on plane, and it was 4th grade. Now I was going through counseling and stuff because I had like really bad anger issues, which aren't as bad now as they were before, but I was grounded like close to the beginning of the 4th grade year for a month. It was because my sister got her Nintendo 3DS taken away, and I took it, and I was always down in my bedroom, and they thought that I was watching TV when I was using their 3DS to watch YouTube. And they found it. They went downstairs to Trey went downstairs to look at my room, and he seen it, and he said, "You're grounded for a month." So I'm grounded for a month. I was sitting in a corner for about a month, and that month turned into 2 months, that turned into 3 months, turned into 4, 5, 6, 7 months, all the way up until the end of the school year. I was in that corner. So me and him got into a big argument, and on my 10th birthday, I actually hit him, and so they took me to like this place so I could talk about what happened. And this was the day of my 10th birthday is I slapped him, and they took me to that place. I didn't get to spend any time celebrating my birthday. I was in a place getting checked out for what happened and stuff, and that sucked. And then a few months later, I got into a fight with him. I actually kicked him in the balls. Yes, kicked him in the balls, punched him in the face like 2 times, and like fucked his eye up and messed his nose up. And I said, "I want you to leave, like I want you gone, and I want you to like move in with your mom. You ain't doing shit for this family." He just recently quit his job, and then he got a new one, quit it again. And so while my mom's at work, stressed out, grinding, he's sitting at home using up all the Wi-Fi that my mom has to work to pay for. He's playing his game all day long while I'm sitting in a corner just playing his game. And we had 2 TVs at the time. We had one on the bottom, one on the top. He would watch Netflix on the one on top and play his game because he just got a PS4 on the bottom. He would sit there for literally 10, 12, 13 hours a day. He would take us to school, go home, play his game, pick us up, we go back home. I go back, sit in the corner, and he'd play his game until my mom got home, until he went to bed, until dinner was made. And he was a lazy motherfucker, like laziest dude ever, wasn't doing shit for the family, wouldn't get a job, was making my mom grind, and my mom was smoking and drinking at the time because of all the stress that he was putting her under. And plus he was beating me, he was physically abusing me. He threw me outside naked. He put me in this lock where he put my arms behind my back, put his knee on my chest, and pulled my arms all the way back, and I couldn't breathe. He held me for about 2 minutes, couldn't breathe at all. And he was just abusing me. When he threw me outside naked, he had me held by the neck, choking me, and he threw me out in the backyard naked. My mom had to bring me clothes. And this is when we were looking for Boys Town, for counseling out in Boys Town. But there was a bunch of incidents that we had with him 4th grade year. And then that's when I got into the fight with him, and I said, "I want you to leave, I want you to be gone." So he moved in with his mom for a little bit. I finished out the school year, and I was having trouble in school. Like, I ran away from the school all the way to my house. Like, walked out the building, ran all the way home. And I did this twice. Once when he was living with us, and another time when he moved out. And the cops were there, and I locked the cops out. And I waited till my mom to get home, and they just made me go with my grandpa for the day as, like, a punishment. Now, that's not a punishment. Going with my grandpa for a day is actually kind of fun, and I regret now that I haven't been going with him as much, spending as much time with him, because shit happened recently. But I got to spend the day with him. They brought me back, finished out the school year without any problems, and Then at first I was just gonna spend the summer with my grandpa, just going to work, spending the summer with him, having fun, going to work, seeing all my old friends. And there was some that I didn't even remember, but now I'm gonna remember them. I remember my cousins, Brandon, Nate, Jace, Kaylee, Devin, all of them. They're like family to me. Like I've known them my whole life. Even, like I knew them when I was 2 years old, 1 year old, and then I didn't see them from like 1st to 5th grade, 4th grade. I moved back in with my grandpa, so I went with him for a summer, and then eventually I moved back in with him so I could go to school. Oh my lord, it's just I've been farting all day. But anyways, I started going to school out in Carter Lake again. I was there for 5th grade, all of 5th grade, all of 6th grade, and 7th grade is when stuff got really bad. Because I was going to work 5th grade summer, 6th grade summer, but 7th grade started getting really bad. We had a cleaning lady that was stealing money from my grandpa, and this was like in October. And I was getting good grades, and it was because just recently, the end of 6th grade, I was supposed to go on a vacation to see my cousins down in Arkansas. And I got cousins all over, like for real. And I was going to see my cousin down in Arkansas, but we couldn't go because my grandma had literally 7 strokes. I swear to God, she's still living. She had 7 strokes. And she was in the hospital for about 2 years. And my grandpa was really stressed out at the time because he'd have to drive 3 hours to the hospital that would accept her insurance. He'd have to drive 3 hours every day to see her and 3 hours back. Plus, he'd have to mix that in with going to work. And we had a cleaning lady stealing money from my grandpa. And I was getting blamed for it. And my grandpa was stressed out, and we were getting into arguments, like bad arguments. So then that's when I called my mom in like December, and I was like, I'm moving back in with you. It's very stressful here right now with my grandma and my grandpa being stressed out. And so I got all my stuff and moved back in with my mom, and that's when y'all seen my video last year. And I moved, and this was the exact room that I moved into. And so that's the crazy part. And so yeah, that happened. Moved back in here, and then I eventually moved back in with my grandpa because I wasn't liking it at the school at Westside. Well, I wasn't really just liking it living here because me and my sisters were just arguing all the time, so I wanted to go move back in with my grandpa. And that was when they had me just live with Scotty because Scotty was gonna try and raise me. And I was having bad grades and stuff when I was with Scotty. I got all my stuff taken away. I was getting into arguments with the kids, and they would all gang up on me. And they would just argue with me, and I would get mad, and I would yell at them, and I'd get in trouble. And it was really hard at Scotty's. Like, at home, like, at school, I was doing pretty good, but at home was, like, the most struggle. And, like, my room was a mess all the time. I wouldn't clean it. And we got ants, and it started off in the kitchen and then made its way to the basement where the mess was at in my room, and they said that I brought the ants in through the window downstairs, which I got mad about that. But then I get all my stuff taken away, and then one of my baseball games, I was messing around with a kid, and then I got into a fight, and I got kicked off the baseball team, and I got beat by the guy that night, Scotty, that night. And he just left a bruise on me, and I told my mom about it, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna come pick you up. So she came and picked me up, and I was here for like the first 2 weeks of summer last year. And then I was just staying here for a little bit, and my mom had her friend and his fiance living in our basement for a little bit until they could find a new house. So I was here, and I was using my sister's phone, and she wanted it back, and I wouldn't give it back to her, so I locked myself in the bathroom. And I was just using it. And then the dude's fiance, he was at work. The dude's fiance was like, give her phone back. I'm like, you don't have to control me and my mom. You don't got shit to do with me. So then she's like, unlock this door right now. And I was like, fine. And then she tried grabbing me by my neck, and I pushed her off of me. And we got into a big argument. And then it turned out that I got a baseball bat, and I went and smashed a computer and a TV with a bat. And they called the cops and pressed charges, and the guy got home, and he was trying to spank me, and I kept on dodging him. I punched him. I don't know if I punched him. I don't think I punched him. I was just trying to get away from him. And my mom got home and told them to get out of the room, and then they eventually moved out. And my mom hated his fiance. She hated him. She was kind of glad that they moved out because she was a bitch, and they broke up. And they broke up, and then they got back together again. So I had to go back with my grandpa, and then I was with my grandpa for all of 8th grade. I started out with straight A's. I almost made honor roll until the end of the first trimester. I started hanging out with the wrong kids, and my grades dropped. I wasn't taking school as serious, and I did the same thing with the second trimester. In the third trimester, I did the same thing again, and I was getting suspended too much. I wasn't cleaning my room at my grandpa's house. Like, I was just a mess, and my grandpa was gonna send me to like a boot camp like type school thing, and so it was very stressful and stuff. I was stealing money from my grandpa. I was buying a bunch of shit online with his credit card, and I eventually stopped, but that didn't stop me from like sneaking out all the time. I was still sneaking out of the house with my friend Mikey, and one night we went to go get a car from the shop, and we had to sneak in to get it, and this is actually what I got charged for. I'm actually sharing with y'all how I got arrested right now. So we snuck into the shop, and took the keys, took the car, and then when we went to a car meet, and when we were coming back, we took the back roads where there was no cops at. We parked it. I took and brought the keys back inside. Someone called the cops. We got into our friend's car, and we were acting like we were sleeping. They knocked on the window, and they're like, and we lied to them at first. Like, we actually lied to the cops, and they were they were believing it at first, but the only reason why we got arrested is because me and Mikey, we didn't have anyone we could call, and the other two friends that were with, they had someone that they could call, so that's why they didn't get arrested for burglarizing too. So they just put me in the back of the. They found out the real thing that we did, and that we took the car because they went and looked at the car, and then they felt the hood and it was hot because we were driving it. And they're like, why is it hot? And I was like, because we actually did take the car. And they're like, well, do you guys have anyone we could call? And I was like, no. So they put me in the back of the cop car. They didn't put cuffs on me yet, but they were like, was Mikey in the building with you? And I was like, yeah. So then they put Mikey in cuffs, put him in the back of the other cop car, and then I'm sitting in the back, and then I had them call Matt Brophy, and Matt showed up. He called my grandpa. My grandpa just told him to press charges on me because he was sick and tired of it, of me breaking the rules, not listening to him at all and everything. So then they put me in cuffs. I went to juvie. I already told you about what it was like, so I'm not even going to get into the details. So I went to juvie. It was crazy because I was just doing bad. And then they were gonna, if they were gonna have me go back to my grandpa's, they were gonna put me on house arrest, but instead they had me move back in with my mom. So I'm gonna be going to school out here at Westside, and I'm gonna be doing everything here, and I'm gonna start trying to take YouTube seriously because I need to get these 4,000 hours. I need 4,000 hours, which is 120,000 minutes watched. Like, I need all of you guys to support me. And I need to gain. I'm going to try and grind this year as much as I can because I'm going to try and start getting paid for YouTube. I need to get these 4,000 watch hours. I already have like 800 or 1,000, and I hit 1,000 I hit 1,000 subscribers, which was one of the things. You need 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours in the next 12 months. I have like 9 months, 10 months, not even 10 months. I have like 9 or 8 months to get these 4,000 watch hours, or I'm going to be able to get paid. So I'm going to need that. And so I need everybody that's watching this video right now to like the video. Everybody, I need at least 20 likes on this video. I need this video to spread out. I need to get as much views on this video. I need to get these watch minutes in so I can start taking YouTube seriously. I want you guys to show me some support down in the comments. That's basically what I've gone through my whole life. I need y'all to show some support down in the comments. I've been recording for 25 minutes now just talking about the shit. Show me support in the comments, like the video. If y'all are new, make sure you subscribe and turn on the post notification. And if you're interested, go and watch my videos. Like, watch all my videos that I posted in the last year because they're not bad. One of the videos I did post was, I'm not even gonna tell you, but y'all need to go and watch all of my videos that I posted and tell me if y'all like them or not. But show me some love. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn the post notification bell on to get notified every time I make a new video. And that's like the story of my life. Hope y'all like it. This is your boy JJ Fett, and I'm out. Peace.